This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon. Starting a brand new week, hey? Well, for those that are up to speed, otherwise this could be on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or any other day for that matter. But whatever, today, Monday, we're going to start off with basics are the foundation of performance. Now, I ran a seminar with the Southwest Academy of Sport in Victoria over the weekend, and I got an opportunity to speak to a lot of their teenage athletes that are across a variety of different sports. And one of the points I brought up to them is like, basics are the foundation of performance. And one of the most important things is that we can often want to do the fancy stuff. And this is an example in sport, but this really goes across the board with everything in our life, whether it be law or whether it be business or whether it be anything else. And I know I've caught myself doing this plenty of times that in business I want to do the fancy stuff, and it's like, mate, you know, you may have done the basic stuff, but you got to be able to do the basic stuff well, like with your eyes closed again and again and again and again and again and again. And, you know, by trying to skip out on doing that and just ticking the box and wanting to move forward, it's a very fun way to learn the lesson. And the same thing will happen in the sport and everything else. But the primary lesson was that doing the basics and understanding this is that basics are the foundation of performance. And our opportunity every single day is to go and work on the basics and become excellent at the basics. Like, you know, with the way that we run our gyms is that we have this sort of safe, strong, sexy component, which is the first thing is safe. It's like, well, people must have good range of movement. They must have good stability throughout that range of movement. And they must be able to, most importantly, repeat that stability throughout that range of movement. The whole idea is don't practice something till you get it right. Practice till you can't get it wrong, because habit doesn't make perfect. Let's try it again. Habit doesn't make perfect. You just gave away the answer, Dave. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes habit. And so that's why it's so important to remember that you don't practice something until you get it right. You just practice till you can't get it wrong. So it becomes the way you move. It becomes the way you think. It just means that you have drilled the basics in time and time and time again. That is the way you are wired to move, the way you are wired to respond, the way you are wired to think. So one of the other things that I sort of pointed out, which was, a lot of the time, can you hear Odie drinking water? That's the pit bull that I'm staying with. He's good. He's a good boy. So what's crucial to pay attention to there is that there's no small things. So it's like, do the small things well. Like, let's pull this apart for a moment. So it's so crucial to do the small things well. And the reason why it's so crucial for us to do the small things well is because then we realize that there's no small things. Without the small things, we can't do the big things. And it's absolutely crucial for us to really gauge and understand that, is that they may appear to be small, insignificant things, but when you add them up, they're massive. They allow us to do the things of performance and the things that are, lack of a better term, fancy. And so when we take this into consideration with our own life and with our own, our career, our sport, our training, and we go, it's kind of small and trivial. It's like, no. That's like thinking that a brick in your house is small and trivial. It's like you want to lay that brick as damn well as you can lay any brick. And then when you get the next brick, you lay that brick as damn well as you can lay any brick. And you do it again and again and again and again, and then you have a house. And so that's where the key thing is that if you don't care about the small things, it means you don't care about the bricks. It means you don't care about the house. And this is really important to understand, that there just are no small things, because when you add those up, they are the big thing. And the other thing to pay attention to there is that it takes years. It really takes years. I know you hear me say it all the time, and there was a podcast I did called Blood, Sweat and Years. And the reason being is that it is going to take blood. You're probably going to cry as well, whatever. You're going to sweat, but it's going to take years. And when we start with this in our mind, we start patient. And this is so crucial, because the time is going to pass anyway. You may as well put the effort into doing the small stuff really, really, really well, because that's all that matters, because the small stuff is the big stuff. And this does go for anything. It goes for sport, it goes for career, it goes for education. Like, it's kind of like just spitting the same thing that, if you want to get good at something, you do it every single day. Not necessarily to fatigue every single day, but you do it every single day. Every single day. Now, people go, I can't bench press every single day. It's like, I know, but you get the premise. You train every day. And sometimes, training isn't always exercise. Sometimes training is training the mind. Sometimes training could be yoga or meditation or relaxing or breathing or active recovery or going for a swim. But it's understanding that to truly be an athlete is that you have to train both mentally and physically every single day. And sometimes, like I said, that training is a form of discipline of not actually training or exercising rather, but doing some form of movement, some form of breathing, some form of relaxation, anything along those lines. I think it sort of, I said it goes for anything because it does leak into business and it does leak into all these other things, is that you are never too fancy for the basics. Like, you're never too good for the basics. If you go to any high-level sporting team, you'll see them, a soccer team, they'll pass the ball, they'll be part of their training. That's part of their training every single friggin' time they go. It's like, you are never too fancy. You are never too good for the basics. They are literally the foundation of performance. So the question then is, how can you get the basics in every single day? It's like, well, you have to plan them in. You have to put it into perspective. You have to make sure that you give yourself an opportunity and time to be able to do the basics every single day. And what are the basics? Well, that's another question all to itself, isn't it? So from there, for what you're wanting to develop, whatever it is you're wanting to develop, your mind, your work, your study, your physical body, you literally go, what are the basics that I need to do in order to be able to be, do, or have what I want to be, do, or have? Right? And then you write them down. And when you write them down, you go, how can I find a way to add these in or to insert these into my day? Right? And you look at the world we live in now, and this is one of my biggest conversations I'm having at the moment, is that I thoroughly think that long-form audio is one of the most influential concepts of our time. And the reason being is that, we have an opportunity now to be able to consume one book a week. We can consume one book a week just by listening, right? If you have a book on 1.5 speed, and it's let's say it's an 8-hour book, that's now 6 hours, and you drive half an hour a day and you use the other half an hour of cleaning dishes or cooking dinner to listen to it. You listen to an hour a day. You consume one book a day. One book a week. You do that 50 times a year. All of a sudden, you've consumed 50 books in a year. You do that by 10 years. That's 500 books. We're at a time where we could never do that. I asked the guys a question today at the school, not at the school, at the academy, and I asked them. They're somewhere between 12 to 7. I go, who here has 10 minutes in their day to train their mind? Right, and there wasn't the first question. We had already been talking for a while. They're really engaged, and I asked them this question, and no one put their hand up. And I was like, none of you, what are you guys doing? Like, is schoolwork? How many of you have a job? And 2 or 3 of them had a job, and that was it. And I'm like, guys, who here has time to watch TV? Who here has time to go on Snapchat? It's like, don't fucking lie to yourselves. If you don't have 10 minutes, you just don't have a life. And so it's not about adding 10 minutes a day. It's about where can I find it in there? You can put this stuff on, as you know, you guys already do it, but you can do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're warming up on the bike. You can, for training, whatever. It doesn't matter. And the question is, how can you continue to find ways to add the opportunity to add the basics into your days every single week? And so that over the years, you become a master at your craft. Not by doing the fancy stuff, but by doing the basics really, really, really well. Team, I'm out. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for meeting Odie as well. You'll find him on the Momentum Performance Training Instagram. He's a frequent admirer of being there. He's actually getting a massage as I look at him right now. But I don't know if it's his owner. I think he owns the owner. Either way, I'm out, team. Thank you very much. I hope you have a fantastic week. And as always, peace and pizza. Well, I didn't actually ask you. If you found this beneficial and you think you know somebody else who would also find this beneficial, I mean, there's not many people that wouldn't, really. If you think about it, I would find it beneficial. Send it to me. Otherwise, it would mean the world to me if you could send it on to them. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.